Is he recording? Like, do we have to say ready, record?
Are we good? I think so.
Okay. Welcome to our CUNA Education Association Forum. We know that this is not the best timing. As teachers, we've decided October is our new December. There's just so many obligations, so I appreciate you coming out. I'm Melissa Nilsson. This is Christy Mock. We are co-presidents of the CUNA Education Association, and here we go.
All right, we just wanted to go through some of the ground rules. So we'll go through the zones. We'll start with zone 2, then zone 1, and zone 5. Each candidate will be asked 5 questions, the same 5 questions in the same order. They will be given a total of 20 minutes to ask those 5 questions. And when the minutes are over, they're done. There will not be any further questions or inquiries beyond the questions that we will be asking today. So I hope you get what you're looking for. And if not, they have a lot of public forums that you can go check too.
Thanks for coming. Is this working?
I think
Can you
it
hear me
should
okay?
be. I think they set it for my height, though. Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's kind of, no offense, it's a little short.
You think? You can undo it if you want.
Okay.
It's wireless. All right, this is JD Grant. He is running in zone 2. You ready?
Yep.
All right. Why are
Okay.
you running for the school board?
Why am I running for the school board? Okay, you're going to go to number 5 first, huh?
No, that's number 1. Are they?
I have number 1 is why I love the CUNA school district.
All right, let's
but
go
I can
with
do that.
no. Why do you love the CUNA school district?
Okay, thank you. I love the CUNA school district. I grew up in Payette. I grew up on a dairy farm outside of Payette. And when I used to wrestle for quite a few years, and when I came to CUNA, I got my butt kicked repeatedly. So if you can't beat them, you join them, right? No, I love CUNA because it's when we came here 16 years ago, it had the small town feel, and it still kind of does. It had the small town feel, and you can get involved and you can get to know people. That's one of the reasons why I love CUNA. Another reason why I love CUNA is because the people here. Um, we all have pretty similar views on a lot of things, and we can get along for the most part. Another reason why I love CUNA, I want to share a story with you about Mrs. Ritter, the principal at Silver Trail. And I've shared this story before at the last forum, but Mrs. Ritter, the principal at Silver Trail, I had a patient that came in, and her son is in 3rd grade, and he was struggling to go to school this year and didn't want to get out of the car. Had missed multiple days of school because he'd heard that his teacher was mean or whatever reason it was. He didn't want to go to school. And Mrs. Ritter came and talked to the mom and said, "Hey, if you get him out of the car, I'll take him and make sure he gets to class, but you have to drive. You have to drive off." And so Mrs. Ritter took the time uh, to take the child, and she sat on the sidewalk with that student for about 45 minutes and talked to him and got to know him. And ever since then, he loves to go to school, and he hasn't been missing school, and he's excited. He loves his teacher, and he thinks him and Mrs. Ritter are best friends, which is that's why I love CUNA, and that's why I love the teachers here and the people here in CUNA, because for the most part, we care about each other and we care about our students.
I think your order is different than ours. So, what was our second question to you?
The second question was, how would you describe an effective school board member?
Yes, how would you describe an
Okay.
effective school board member?
So I would describe an effective school board member, someone that can think outside the box. And sometimes you have to put your own opinions aside for a little bit so that you can hear both sides of the story. There's been so many times when I think I have an answer or a solution to the problem, and then I hear the other side of the story, and I realize I don't have the answer until I hear the big picture and understand both sides. When I was first on the board, there was an individual on the board that that a lot of times I didn't agree with. And that person challenged me quite a bit. And at first I thought, this isn't good. But I was new to the board. It was about 9 years ago. And as I was challenged, that individual helped me to think differently. I didn't necessarily agree with the individual still, but he helped me to see both sides of the story and he challenged my thought process. And that's effective board member, is to be able to be open to those type of situations and to be able to form a conclusion that's going to represent the whole community and not just your own opinion and your own views. And I think that's an effective school board member.
Is your number 3 what our number 3 is? I feel like this is a game show.
The number 3 is, what in your background leads you to believe that you would be an effective school board member?
What in your background would lead you to believe that you would be an effective school board member?
Um, I love stories and I love analogies. I think an effective school board member, or my background that would help me be an effective school board member, is I've been on the board for 9 years, and our board is not perfect. Our district isn't perfect, but I feel like we're moving in the right direction. And I feel like I have a lot of experience to be able to continue that ball rolling forward. But I think a level-headed person, someone that can stay calm under pressure and someone that can stay calm in a chaotic environment. And I want to share with you a little story about that. I've been involved with a ton of volunteer activities here in the community, and I love it. And that's part of the reason why I love CUNA and I love to be on the board and I enjoy coaching. And I used to run girls club basketball. My triplets just graduated high school last year, and I coached that club team for probably 8 to 10 seasons. And there was 10 eighth grade CUNA girls that I was coaching. And we had played this Boise team a couple times, and we were up by 7 points. We weren't beating them too bad, but those of you that know me, when I'm on the coaching field, I'm pretty aggressive. I'm kind, but I'm aggressive, and I hold people accountable. And my teams play hard. And we were playing pretty hard in this game, and this girl from Boise fouled one of our girls and fell over the top of her and hit her head on the ground or on the court, and she got hurt. And next thing I know, her dad is in my face on the coach's sidelines, chewing me out and saying I should be ashamed of myself, that I teach dirty basketball or something like that. And he said to me, I quote, he says, "And I'll be waiting for you in the parking lot. You feel me?" And what I wanted to do at that point was different than what I did. I looked on the bench at the 10 set of eyeballs of the girls, the eighth grade CUNA girls that were looking at me, and I knew what I had to do. What I wanted to do is poke that guy in the nose. But I turned to him and I said, "Sir, you're out of control. You need to leave." And then I turned and I continued to calmly coach the girls and get them prepared for the next play. And during COVID, we had some similar chaotic situations at our school board meetings. And I think my past shows that I can remain calm and cool and collective under pressure, that I can handle those chaotic situations when they come. And I think um, those things in my past can kind of show that I'm here for the long haul and I'm here for the right reasons. Thanks.
All right, I guarantee I've got this one. How will you support teachers?
That's a great question. Because teachers are vital, obviously, to our public education. And first, I want to say I love our teachers. And we're in a teacher shortage right now across the nation. And our teachers need our support. And I think the biggest thing is just to show our teachers respect and gratitude for their job, because their job isn't easy and their job is super tough at times. And I think they need to know from a board that we're behind them and that we support them. Um, and I actually have another example that I want to share with you about that. Whenever we get new hires, mostly principals and admin and teachers that I know, when they take a job, we at the school board meeting, we vote we vote for them to be on board, or we approve them and they're hiring. Well, I want to read you a letter that I got from Stuart Vickers. It was just a quick, short email, but I sent him just a quick text after he was hired and said, "Hey, we appreciate you coming to CUNA. Um, we're glad you're on board, and if there's anything we can do, let us know what we can do." And here's what Stuart said. He said, "In late June of 2022, I accepted the CTE administrator position for the CUNA School District. This was a huge change in my life, especially considering the fact that I had been at my current position for 22 years. On the first Tuesday in July of 2022, I received a text message from an unknown number. The text was from JD Grant, welcoming me to the CUNA School District. I had just been approved by the school board, and JD took the time to welcome me and thank me for choosing to work in CUNA. It was at that moment I knew that I had made the right decision. It was a simple act, but at that time in my life, it was exactly what I needed at that time." Stuart Vickers. But I will also support teachers we understand that our teachers in our district are underpaid compared to the surrounding districts, and in the past, we have raised their salary a little bit. I know it's not enough. I want to support teachers that way too. Teachers asked a while back for curriculum, and we listened to them, and we were able to approve that and get new curriculum for them. And I think as far as supporting teachers, I'll be there for a listening ear. If any teachers want to talk to me, I'm always available.
Awesome. 24/7? Just kidding.
If I need to be.
Why are you running for the school board?
The reason why I'm running for the school board is I believe in this community. I believe in our education. I have 4 kids. I talked about my triplets that graduated last year, and I have 11-year-old son that's in middle school. And I want to be a part of his education. I want to help move the work forward that we've already started. There's a lot of things that I feel are not buttoned up yet from the things that I have been a part of, and I want to continue that work. A lot of that is just supporting the teachers and help them feel welcomed and appreciated and supported. And then also our work that we're doing with the city to collaborate with them to collect mitigation fees from developers with the growth and development. And in that process, we've collected in the last 3.5 years, $5.5 million. That's it's about half of an elementary school, but it's a start, and I think it's a start in the right direction. I also want to be part of the school board because I run a couple businesses here in town, and I see about on average 45 patients a day, and I'm able to listen to their concerns and I'm able to bring those concerns back to the board and to the admin and to the district. And then vice versa, I'm also able to bridge that gap of communication to our patrons in the district, because a lot of times, 90% of the time, the patrons that have an issue don't have the big picture, and a lot of them trust me, and I can talk to them and help them see the big picture. And usually, when we do that, not all the time they agree, but they understand, and we can move forward. And that's one of the main reasons why I want to be on the board. And another reason is on top of my dental office that I'm involved with the patrons in our community. I have a long history for the last 13 years. I've coached youth football every fall and every spring. I've coached 26 seasons of youth football. I've coached almost 15 seasons of youth basketball and 12 seasons of track. And so by doing that, I get to know more and more people, patrons in our community, and be a part of it. And it's awesome because those parents, when they see, I don't get paid for any of that stuff, I enjoy it. When they see me putting in time and commitment into those activities, they trust me and they talk to me. And again, the same conversations happen that I talk about they do with my patients. I'm able to bridge that gap with our patrons in the district, and I'm proud of it, and I want to continue that work.
Awesome. You have 7 minutes left. Is there anything you want to say?
Nope, I think I covered it.
Awesome. Thanks for valuing our time.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Hardy,
Oh, does it? Oh, okay. Thank you.
Christy Hardy declined our invitation, but please visit her Facebook platform if you want to learn more about her campaign. We will now move on to Zone 1. We have Joy Thomas.
Hello, Joy.
Hello.
We're technology over here. Just give us a sec. All right. The first question is, why are you running for the school board?
Okay. Well, thank you very much for putting this together this evening. I appreciate your help. Let me find the right answer. Okay. Thank you. So I have been serving on the school board for 8 years now, and we have accomplished a lot since I've been there. In 2017, we considered running a bond for for Swan Falls High School. And a person from the community, he was a farmer, came to us and he said that while he supported the bond, he would like for the schools to try to find another way to fund building. So I was the first person that started a discussion around impact fees for schools, knowing that in order for us to do this, we would have to collect impact fees and the state law had to be changed. So I set out for our board to put a resolution out to the other school boards in the state and ask them to support impact fees being put on the Idaho School Board Association's legislative platform. In 2018, it passed and has been on their platform ever since then. As long as CUNA has a say so, it will remain there until the legislature listens to us and changes the law. I've written several other resolutions that have successfully passed since then and just got us on the radar as a strong leading district in the legislative issues. I currently serve on the Policy Advisory Committee. When I was studying at Boise State in the Political Science Department, my emphasis was on public policy. While many, if not all, people find policy boring, I love it. I am very good at taking the law and breaking it down into something everyone can understand. The real trick, though, is making it applicable to the people that it affects the most without letting my emotion or personal beliefs be involved. I love that I'm able to bring my life experiences and my education together in one place and have it make a difference for students, staff, and parents. While I've been on the board, our community has experienced exponential growth with no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Now, no one can deny that our relationship with the city regarding growth started out very rocky. Our board has been pushing hard for that to change, and just over the last few years, we began asking for developers to provide voluntary mitigation, something that is allowable according to state statute, to provide for the growth caused by their development. Unlike our competitors, those of us that are currently on the board see that there is no way forward for us to build new facilities without the help from developers and passing bonds. The state of Idaho does not give school districts any money to build new schools and do maintenance on existing schools. Unfortunately, they have left that cross to be borne by the taxpayers. One of the things that has been very important to me is the financial health of our district and to do so transparently. Part of being financially responsible is not much different than our personal financial health. By state law, we have an audit done on our books every year. In 2015 and 16, I remember that we were getting several negative findings and we had a B credit rating. This was simply not acceptable. We asked the administration to fix these problems, and it took changing policies, processes, and habits. Fast forward to today, where we have gone 4 years with no findings in our audits. We currently enjoy a AA3 credit rating, something that is only 3 other districts in the state share. Our policies, processes, and budget are much more transparent than they were then, and everything can be found on our website with just a few clicks. In 2015, the tax rate incurred by our community was ever so slowly inching up. We worked really hard with our financial advisors and came up with a plan that starting with the passage of the 2017 bond, we could promise the community the tax rate from us would not exceed 5%, translating to $5 per thousand of the taxable value ever again. We have been able to keep that promise and go beyond expectations. We have been able to lower the tax rate to below 1%. I know that many of us have not felt much of a difference because the value of houses have gone up so much, but imagine if your tax bill was still at 5% or higher. Again, with our financial advisors, we have been able to put what we gather from the taxes to excellent use and pay down principal on bonds, leading to savings of $6.8 million in interest over the last 5 years. Last but not least, I know that the input of parents is paramount. This is why parents are asked to participate at every level in the classroom, with our clubs, on the sports field, and most importantly, in our committees. I consider this to be invaluable. I also believe that there is a line that needs to be recognized. Every single parent absolutely has the right to guide, give direction, and ultimately control their child's education. But no one parent has the right to do that for anyone else's child. We have to consider every child, every family, every employee, and every issue. This is why CUNA School District, we appreciate the input of parents at all levels. After all, when we add students and teachers and parents together, we get the very best outcomes. I want to continue to give to our students, our district, and our community results like this. I want to continue to improve our district and make it the best it can be.
Awesome. How would you describe an effective school board member?
There's a scholar, and his name is Jamie Vollmer. He came to the world of education from the world of business. He presumed that education process needed to be changed and that he, as a business person, knew that if we ran it like a business, it would fix most of the problems. What he learned, though, is that he was wrong in part. He was in the ice cream business, and one day he was a speaker at a conference and a teacher challenged him. She asked what he would do if he received a shipment of less than perfect blueberries for his ice cream. He proudly said that he would send them back. This is when he heard this from that teacher. We can never send back our blueberries. We take them big, small, rich, poor, gifted, exceptional, abused, frightened, confident, homeless, rude, and brilliant. We take them with ADHD, junior rheumatoid arthritis, and English as their second language. We take them all, every one. And that is why this is not a business, it's a school. He learned that schools can educate and boards can't govern with alone. This is what I think great boards look like. A group of people elected to make sure that every single blueberry gets educated. In addition to that, I believe that boards need to emulate what they want the students to do, and that is learn. We need training. This job is hard. It takes a lot of effort to first learn what you're doing and do it while you're doing it, learning it. We require the assistance of everyone involved, other board members, administrators, teachers, staff, and most importantly, parents, to get our kids to the finish line. We have to do that while staying within a budget, holding people accountable for their jobs, and answering to our constituents.
All right. What in your background leads you to believe that you would be an effective school board member?
Well, my passion is education and serving my community. Serving on the board for the last 8 years has allowed me to do what I love. It requires a lot of time to do this job right. It goes well beyond sitting in the boardroom. I have put my heart and soul into doing this. It is a vast majority of what my time goes to. I understand school funding. It is a very difficult subject due to the complicated formula created by the state legislature. In order to be able to give intelligent feedback on things like budget, this knowledge is imperative. I have demonstrated my ability to listen to the members of our community in my response to our farmers in 2017. During policy advisory meetings, Working on multiple committees throughout the years where crucial decisions have been made, and during COVID. I've attended countless hours of training on every topic under the sun that pertains to board governance. I have made it my duty to be the best board member I can be. I have led book studies for our board. I have encouraged the entire board to receive training, and I currently contract with the Idaho School Boards Association where I travel the state training other boards how to be good boards.
Excellent. How will you support teachers?
I take immense pride in the quality of teachers and staff we have been able to attract and keep in our district. A way that I see direct correlation in being able to do this, and something that I personally do, is I have served on the district's negotiation team for the last 2 years. Our team is made up of CUNA Education Association representatives, teachers, administrators, and myself representing the board. We work all year collaborating on the needs of our certified staff, teachers, and often our classified staff, so that when we get to the formal negotiation part, it is smoothly done and it is a win-win for everyone. Just last year, we worked on simplifying the way our teachers get raises each year. It was a long and tedious process, but we did it, and our teachers' pay is now competitive with the other districts in the valley, topping most districts. Not all, we can't do that, but most of them. Our current board has also been a big draw of talent from other districts in our state and that have not so stable boards. And that has been really nice to hear. I also spend a great deal of time in the schools, helping where I can. I love to visit with teachers and hear what's happening, both good and bad. I do my best to visit all of the schools and all of the staff each year. I want them to see my commitment to them and their students. I don't think it is enough to say it, you have to show it. Bottom line is I support teachers and staff in every way possible. I use my voice in negotiations to make sure we can get them the best working conditions the money can afford. I want them to have the best tools available to learn, including curriculum. I never want them to go back to the time when we didn't pay for their continuing education credits, or when they had to scrape together curriculum on their own, or when we didn't give them any supply money, as small as that may be. We are better than that. Our teachers deserve so much more than that.
All right. Why do you love the CUNA School District?
Well, my experiences with the CUNA School District started in the fall of 1981. Yes, I aged myself. I was an adorable second grader in Mrs. Donahoe's class. I continued attending CUNA schools through my graduation. And I remember when we were mostly fields, and our graduating class was 152 graduates. CUNA is my home. I was gone for a few years, but when the opportunity arose, I returned to CUNA to raise my kids. CUNA has changed since then. We are much bigger. There aren't many fields left. Graduating classes are approaching 400. There's stoplights, more grocery options than one, and many other businesses. What hasn't changed is our school district is amazing. We are preparing kids for life after school. We are giving them so many opportunities to gain career technical training that they are earning livable wages straight out of high school. Every time I am with other board members from across the state, I can't help but smile. I hear about things happening in other schools, like poor negotiations with teachers, never passing bonds or levies, no community support, can't get people to run for the school board. We don't have that problem. And many other things that we simply don't have here in CUNA. I hear other board members talk about CUNA and the amazing things we have going for us, like our beautiful CTE schools, Swan Falls High School, and consequently the robust CTE program we have and the excellent relationship we have with our teachers. They do this when they don't know I'm around. I'm very proud of the things this board has been able to do and are doing to help our kids be the very best they can and be contributing members of our community. The saying is true: once a caveman, always a caveman.
Awesome. You have about 5 minutes left. Is there anything else you want to say?
See, I knew you were going to do that.
Sorry.
But I think I've covered it. I really do. I love being in CUNA. I love serving on the school board, and I just hope that I have done enough to earn the vote of the people of Zone 1.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hillary Lowe is the other candidate running in Zone 1. She declined our invitation, but please go to our Facebook platform if you want to learn more about her campaign. Hello, Mr. Russ Johnson.
Hi.
We have Russ Johnson running in Zone 5. Give me just a second. Our computer keeps shutting off.
Thank you.
Ready? All right. We would like to know, why are you running for the school board?
Well, thanks. Am I I'm running for the school board because I think the main reason is because of the relationships and experience that I've had so far within the district when my kids have been involved, as well as the relationships since I've been on the board. We've shared some ideas on growth and on mitigation and on the potential tax reductions. And we've shared those with Valley View District, with Caldwell, with Middleton, and with Emmett. And really, as I was trying to decide if I wanted to run again, I think because of some progress that I feel like we've made, that was kind of my number one issue, I suppose. And so that would be the number one. If the law is applied as I think it should be, then that would help our taxpayers, and it would help to take care of that. And so my hope is that we can continue to make progress on that. And we've strengthened our relationship with the city of Kuna, and we've improved that. And so over the next 4 years, I'd like to try to continue that. I'd like to try to lessen the taxpayer burden a little bit from that, and also to kind of continue the partnerships and do that. And I guess one example of that I have appreciated is, I think it's called Haven Creek, where we were able to find kind of a win-win relationship there. And it was a great proposal that they came up with to allow our Swan Falls students to participate in building a house and having that experience of being able to go through and see that. And so, I'm not looking to have necessarily an adversarial relationship with developers. I mean, this community is going to grow. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to be. And so I'd like to continue to explore that and try to help that and try to come up with partnerships and relationships. And so, and as I just reflect on my kids' own experience, and as I reflect on my grandkids until recently, they've moved away now, but I'd like to continue to make Kuna a great place to be, and so that's why I'm running.
How would you describe an effective school board member?
So, and there may be a little bit of overlap here. I'll try not to overlap too much, but as far as an effective school board member, I think it's important to try to build some consensus and try to find common ground. I think that's pretty important, and not trying to bulldoze people and not trying to force your view of a particular thing. Doesn't mean you don't have opinions, doesn't mean you don't have your strongly held beliefs, and doesn't mean that you don't stand up for those. But many times there isn't as much distance as it appears at first glance on that. And so I think that's important. I mentioned win-win solutions, trying to find things that make sense. The ability to hear and listen to all sides, and sometimes that's really difficult. And back during COVID, I remember people would say, "You're not listening, you're not paying attention," and and I'd say, well, you're not reading all the same emails that I am, because I'm getting emails on both sides, and it's, but you still have to consider that, and still have to understand that there are different sides and different perspectives and different things, and still have the ability to be decisive and to make some decisions when you need to. I also think it's important to allow everybody to fill their own role and kind of stay in your lane a little bit too. I don't think it works very well if we try to take over for the administration's job and try to take over and do everybody's job for them and try to micromanage and do all those things. I also think it's pretty important as an effective school board member that you need to be pretty strongly in favor and pretty passionate about public schools and the role that public schools play. I'm a product of public schools. I believe in public schools, and I think that's important. And I think the future of our country and of our community depends on effective public schools.
All right. What in your background leads you to believe that you would be an effective school board member?
Well, I guess first of all, I think my experience of already being there makes a difference. It's been 4.5 years since I've been there. We went through some pretty tough times, some pretty difficult times where we had to make some pretty hard decisions, and we had to balance those interests and get through that and take care of that. Ultimately, that's the question for Zone 5 voters, though, as far as what in my background leads me to be an effective school board member. All my kids graduated from CUNA High School, and we moved out to Beaumont back in 2003, and then now we live a little closer in on South Side and CUNA Road. But I've been out there. My neighbors, I think I understand my neighbors. My background is from a very small high school, and it's from a kind of a farming, ranching, and teaching background, and so I think I have an appreciation on that. When our kids were in school, we were even more involved, pretty involved. We required tour chaperones. We were on the CUNA Football Boosters Club. Rhonda was a choir mom for a few years, and so I think that's an important background to have, that to be able to see those elementary and junior high and high school kids and kind of see how that goes through. I also think I have some experience with negotiating and with deal making, just because of the kind of work that I do, and also some knowledge of law and statutes and policy and all those kind of things. I think we can do more. I mentioned the mitigation. I'm not going to go back over that in great detail, but that's really the reason I decided to run again. And when I read these phrases like particular consideration, that schools need to be given particular consideration in zoning decisions. When I read that they need to deliver services without compromising the quality of service delivery to current residents or imposing substantial additional costs upon current residents. I think Danielle, Horace, and Robbie Reno have done really great work, and I'm pretty proud that we've asked them to show up and to do that, and I'd like to keep that going. I guess I'm. The background as far as another particular thing that I'm pretty proud of as the board as a whole is that I think we've tried really hard to take care of taxpayer money and to be pretty responsible about taxpayer money. We've used defeasance to pay off bonds early. We've saved interest costs to taxpayers, and that's amounted to millions of dollars. And so, if you add up those decisions and those things that we've done, as well as what we've been able to do as far as mitigation and land donations and different things like that, that's starts to add up and it starts to make a difference as far as a few $1 million here and a few $1 million there, that starts to matter as far as what we need to ask for in the future and what we need to do. And so I'm hopeful that as we increase that and as we continue that we'll have some more flexibility on bonds, and maybe it won't be quite as severe when we have to go ask for bonds and have to do that.
Thank you. How will you support teachers?
Well, I think I understand teachers. Both my parents were teachers, and were longtime teachers. They didn't just teach for a year or two. They taught for a long time. Dad tried to be a full-time farmer. For a long time, he tried to teach and farm at the same time, and there were some difficulties with that and issues with that. But and then he went back and they both taught and went back and got some additional training to be special ed teachers, and so they did that. They were some of the first in their families to obtain college degrees, and so I kind of feel like I have an appreciation for the struggle of how hard that was for them. As I mentioned, I'm a product of public schools, and I believe in them wholeheartedly. The schools are only as good as the people that are in the schools, and so based on my own experience with my own family, I believe we have, by and large, good teachers in the KEA School District. Not every experience that we had was perfect all the time, but I believe we had good experiences, and my kids were able to have those experiences they needed to prepare them for life. And they've done fairly well. They've been able to participate, and so when I hear kind of some anecdotal discussion of kids are illiterate and those kind of things, it just doesn't land with me. It just doesn't resonate with me when I see all the scholarships won, when I see the all of the dual credits and all the things that happen. I have a hard time reconciling that and understanding that. Now, can we improve and can we do better? Sure. I think you always strive for that. I think you always try to do that. I'd like to. Another thing I'd like to work on, and this is tough because it's not just us that gets to decide this, is I'd like to try to fix the funding formula. I'd like to keep working on that and try to make that so that when the state announces that they're giving a certain amount for teachers, but then they take some of it back because of the funding formula, that we can do a better job of being able to present that and bring that through. I think we need to allow the administration to do their jobs without undue micromanagement. And the board should be considered with pretty broad policy and support questions, budgets and the overall direction. But the administration needs to administer, and the teachers need to teach, and that's what I think is important, because that's what teachers are good at is teaching. So that's what I have on that.
All right, thank you. Why do you love the KEA School District?
A great place for us to be, and my oldest daughter, I think, was in 8th grade when we moved here. We moved out of the Boise School District, and it was good for us. It was the right situation for us, and my kids, as I said, have been pretty prepared for college. First of all, I had a variety of different kids with different needs. One of my kids was on an IEP and struggled some, and had some things that we had to work through. I had a couple who were pretty good, solid students, but not at the top of their class necessarily. And they benefited a lot from leadership experiences that they had from FFA and from different opportunities. I've had kids participate in FFA and in sports, in choir, in theater and drama. I mean, they got a variety of different things and had the ability to pursue those interests and have those opportunities and have those experiences to be able to do that. I had a couple other kids who had really good GPAs and did well on the ACT, and so they had their own opportunities there as well to be able to have all those chances and all those opportunities. As I said, was every single interaction with every teacher ideal as I went through? Well, no, it wasn't. But I felt like overall our experiences were pretty positive, and they were pretty good. It was a good place for them to learn, and it was a good place for them to get those experience. And they each had different teachers and different mentors who mattered to them and whom they will still look back on and they still remember, and it made a difference to them. So, as I said, my experience just doesn't reflect major failures and widespread illiteracy, and as some have kind of talked about. That's just I just don't relate to that, and I just don't see that. And so, we always want to look for improvement. We always want to look to do better, but just doesn't resonate with me as far as what some others have said. So
Thank you. You have about 4 minutes left. Is there anything you wanted to say that you haven't said?
no, I think your questions mostly covered what I wanted to say. I guess I just I'm hopeful that we can come together and move forward. I really would like to continue the work that we've started. I'd like to have a chance to continue to build those relationships and continue to do that. So I'd appreciate the support from the voters of Zone 5.
Thank you.
Thanks.
So Michael Thornton from Zone 5, welcome.
Thank you.
Why do you love the CUNA School District?
I love the CUNA School District. I grew up here. I have a lot of fond memories of my time here. A big part of why I have these good memories is partially because of the teachers that I had, and the influence that they put in my life. And I really appreciate the teachers that are here now. I have 3 kids in the Hubbard School, excuse me, and they love going to school because of the teachers that they have and the positive impact that they've put on them. And I also just love this. I attended this last Wednesday. Hubbard did their little kickoff, their ribbon cutting for the Lego Club. And I think it's just awesome that those 2 teachers took the time to put together something for these kids. And I think that's really important that um, and that's why I love the school district is the teachers.
All right. Why are you running for the school board?
I am running for the school board because I want to be involved in the community. My grandparents have been very, very much involved in the community, and I want to be able to do the same things. Probably not to the same level as they did. They're pretty big shoes to fill. But I feel that, or I want to be able to give back to the community that helped me with my decisions in my life, and help me to become the person that I am today. And I want to be involved with my kids and what they're learning and how they're learning these things. And I just want to make an impact and be there for those here in this district.
Thank you. How would you describe an effective school board member?
I believe that an effective school board member is someone that is able to work as a team with the other school board members to problem solve, take the facts, and make a decision based on those facts that is beneficial for the whole school district, and not just for individuals. Um, I believe that a school board member should be able to listen and pay attention to those that are in the school district and provide and receive the feedback and then make the changes accordingly. But also be able to have an open mind and realize that everyone cares about these kids and wants them to succeed.
All right. What in your background leads you to believe that you would be an effective school board member?
I do realize that I am at a disadvantage. My opponent has been on the school board for the last 4 years. I have never been on a school board. I've never done anything like this before. Um, but I do have a passion for education, and I do know that it is important to be able to make decisions. And you know, before I came back here to farm with my dad and my brother, I was a farm manager over in Jerome, and some of the decisions that I had to make were based on how the performance was going throughout the farm, learning how to make adjustments to that, um, using the data that we collected to make those decisions. And I think that being able to do that, I think that I can bring that with me to the school board. Um, excuse me. Um, so, and I know I'm not going to be perfect. I don't have the most experience, um, but I know that I can do it. I know that I'm able to look and determine and make things more efficient. That was part of my job, being able to see either through the harvest crew or just the farm in general how to make things more efficient. And I feel that I can. I think that translates really well to being on the school board, and then also being able to be a team player, being able to communicate and to have a discussion about certain topics and how to come to a resolution together as a team.
Thank you. It's awesome. How will you support teachers?
Um, so I called my sister who was a teacher down in Texas. I know it's a far way off from Idaho, but I asked her just that simple question: what would you like to have seen from the school board when she was teaching down there? And a big thing that she talked about, and it's something that I agree with, is um, more support for pay, making sure that you guys get compensated. Thank you. Get compensated for the hard work that you guys are doing. And I believe that. I believe that you guys should be supported in that way. You guys have a hard job. You have a difficult job, but I also know that you love your job. And she also talked a little bit about um, when policies or certain things are brought about by the school board, sometimes she didn't feel like she was being supported by the school board. She was just kind of told, here you go, here's the new thing. And I would like to think that I would be able to listen and help support in any way that I can. I know I'm not an educator, but I feel like that I would be able to listen and hopefully help you accomplish the job. And you do. You guys do an incredible job. What you do to take care of our kids, to teach them, I think it's incredible, and I want to be able to support you in that.
Awesome. Do you have anything else you want to say?
No, I don't.
No. Well, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you all for coming. We appreciate it. So hopefully you will go vote, have your friends and neighbors go vote. It's really important that our voices are heard, and we appreciate you coming out tonight. Thank you.